right about now, it's the Knowledge Spotlight. I'm again privileged to have my guest that I had yesterday in the same segment. And probably for somebody who is watching the TV for the first time today, an introduction again.
Hi viewer, my name is Flavia, Kunihira. I work with Caritas Uganda as the publicity officer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And of course, that is Flavia, who is also the PR of the Caritas. So with our topic of discussion today, yesterday we talked about the girl child, the safety of a girl child. And of course, it's because right now these kids are really home and they need to be safe. So today we are talking about something else, but still in line with these youth and teenagers. We actually have had changes in our climate today. In that, the climate has changed. It's not like those days. Things have changed by far. Even the seasons, the rainy seasons and the dry seasons have changed. And honestly speaking, even these days, the reason why we have little food production is because of the climate change. It's also one of the reasons. How much we have others like infertility of the soil. So today, we are talking about youth being involved in the climate change.
Yeah.
Yes, and probably for the youth who is watching this for the first time, maybe we would love to first break down for them about climate change. How has the climate change? Maybe they need to understand this one for now.
Oh, well, basically climate change are what the changes we're experiencing in our weather, our weather patterns.
Exactly.
For example, currently we're having a lot of prolonged droughts. We're having quite a number of floods. In some countries, we're having cases of wildfires and storms, and those are effects of climate change in a way that we are overdraining our soils through monoculture. But then again, there's a lot of land degradation taking place,
in
yes,
different places, yeah.
And we're having a lot of wetland degradation.
Okay.
That's why we have so many floods in Kampala.
Yeah.
So that's basically a picture of climate change. We're having changes in our weather patterns that's having a negative impact on us, environmentally, socially, and also economically.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And of course, for somebody who's watching out there might think maybe because of development is affecting the weather, in that people have gone ahead now even constructing in the wetlands, which is actually draining them. So now, talking about a person, the youth, because we are the generations for tomorrow and the future for tomorrow. How can the youth contribute to the change or bettering our climate in one way or the other?
Well, for starters, I'm going to define who the youth are.
Okay.
A person who qualifies to be called youth is a person who is below the age of 35 but is above the age of 18.
All right.
And according to statistics in Uganda, 78% of our population has that category of people between the age of 18 and 35.
And 35, okay.
Yes, and it's also
78?
18 to 35, yes. Right. And it also happens to be the segment with a high unemployment numbers.
That is true.
Yeah, so one of the challenges we're facing is the youth are really not involved in matters concerning climate change. They're being left behind. They have limited information when it comes to climate change matters.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a very big challenge because we are having children between that age. Okay, let me call them adults.
Actually, those are adults.
Yes,
true.
exactly. Adults between 18 and 35 who are the ones, they are physically active and are engaging in work.
Sure.
So majority are involving in the destruction of our environment. And that's a very big challenge we're facing. How we have come as Caritas Uganda, how we have been able to involve the youth to mitigate. Climate change is already there. So what we're doing right now is probably mitigation
of climate.
And mitigation of climate change effects, and then also how to adopt, how do we live with the new earth, let me call it that way. How are we able to adopt and to live resiliently in the new earth? So one of the things Caritas Uganda has done, we have done awareness creation programs in schools, whereby we encourage schools to have debate clubs under the environment clubs. So children are able to come about and they're able to discuss matters concerning climate change, but also the mitigation measures. And most of these activities are always followed by tree planting activities.
Wow.
Yeah, because every tree counts. So if you have a school of 1,000 pupils and
Everybody's planting.
Yes, exactly. Everybody's, yes, exactly.
Okay.
So we're able to mitigate some of the effects that we have. Also, in the cases whereby we have UPE schools and they do not have classrooms, the shades of the trees kind of help to provide and to keep them away from harsh conditions. Then the other thing we have done, most especially in northern Uganda, we have programs that promote climate smart agriculture. In this way, we are talking about programs that farming programs.
Farming programs.
Yes, yes,
okay.
that are adaptive to the new way of life. If the soil is bad, but it can still be put to use.
Okay.
So we have a lot of kitchen gardenings that we are training people to practice, whereby you don't need a big piece of land to grow fruit or vegetables.
Small,
you can just have something small to provide food for your family.
Okay.
But then again, the different intercropping. How do you plant 2 crops or more than 3 crops on the same piece of land? These are some of the ways we try to involve the youth. There are quite many. Can list all of them and we spend the whole day here.
Why do you think the youth... Okay, you told me earlier on probably lack of information, and now maybe because they have already got this kind of information, and when you look at the youth, if agriculture was done through phone, I'm sure would have had a lot of probably food production, because every time youth are on phone compared to these very activities. Now, is there a way a parent is of blame to maybe the youth neglecting these very agriculture processes that can actually help to boost our weather or our climate?
Is there a way parents have contributed to this?
Yeah, no, like, is there a way our parents are blamed? Like,
well,
is there a way
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
and
to
how?
a certain extent.
Okay.
Not greater, not smaller, but to a certain extent. I think parents are to blame because growing up, the youth, we look at agriculture as a job for poor people, and yet we actually can't survive without food.
Exactly.
That's the irony. So I think the whole collar jobs has brought about a negative thought towards agriculture. It's later on when people are 60 plus and they're ready to retire and they go back to agriculture. Yet this is something they should have been involved in right from the start, so that we're able to produce more food for our country. But then again, we're more cautious about the effects of climate change.
Okay.
Yes.
And of course, looking about greening our society, environment, I want you to give maybe a direct advice to the youth watching right now. How can they contribute to greening our environment? And of course, through greening, we shall attract many rains and hence changing our climate.
Okay. So to the youth out there, I would advise you to plant more trees. Every tree counts. But then again, we need to be so mindful of our environment in terms of the plastics that we throw around. Okay. Let's be able to have garbage cans where we can be able to throw the trash that we have. And then also, let's be very cautious about the water bodies that we have around us to make proper use of them and not to deposit waste materials in the water bodies. Okay. There are quite a number of things that I would really advise them to do, but the easiest of them all is plant a tree. Okay. Yeah.
Plant a tree. By the way, today I had a discussion a little bit with Flavia, and we're saying I wish every youth could actually plant 3 trees in a holiday, something of the kind. Now in a year we have 3 holidays, and now just imagine if you're in from Form 1 up to Form 6, so that's 6 years times 15 trees. I think it would be a better idea. So now as we are winding up, probably for the person who is watching you right now, before even I ask that one, is there that or those kind of trees that you have identified that are better, especially in changing our weather, maybe so that they can also, if they're interested in like going to start planting, which kind of tree species should this be, according to your experience, maybe?
Okay, that's kind of a technical one, though. In most cases, fruit trees literally grow everywhere, based on the kind of environment, because trees that grow in northern Uganda may not be the trees that grow in western Uganda. So when you look around your surrounding, you're able to tell trees that are favorable to the environment. And in this case, I'm not talking about so much of the eucalyptus because of its disadvantages. But I think the easiest of them all would be planting fruit trees, jackfruit, mangoes, avocado trees. First of all, they're giving us vitamin C through the fruits that they're producing, but then again they're able to provide shade for us. They're able to contribute to the rainfall. To the rainfall formation. So fruit trees are really the best option.
And of course, as we wind up, I want you to pass a general advice, not only to the youth, but to everybody now watching, adult, young, or maybe youth. Any kind of advice?
To the viewer out there, I would like to tell you that we are a generation that is living right now, but then we have people that are going to leave behind. So we have to be very mindful and very selfish to be able to take care of the environment carefully, keeping in mind that there are people who are going to follow us after. Exactly. So we should endeavor to set an example of promoting a greener environment, promoting a cleaner environment, so that the younger people are able to pick up and even do more than we have done. So that's what I would basically tell them.
And I think next time when you go to these schools, actually sensitizing them, I am sure we should be part of that, so that others can actually watch and get an example out of it. And of course, that has been Flavia, who is also the PRO of the Caritas, trying to share with me about